What's up guys, Teagle here from ProNDC. Welcome to another ESO build video. In today's video I want to talk about the Magicka Templar PVE setup for the Summerset chapter. So if you're wondering if Magicka Templar is actually good again, stay tuned.
Losing self-control. I keep telling myself, but I don't wanna let you know. Is this what we become? Strangers on the run, looking for something, chasing the sun. All those days trying to find a place where you'll make them just be alone. That's the way every day goes. Looking back, I know we started falling. We were falling in love, yeah.
So that was the DPS test. Pretty decent numbers, I think, but just to show you guys that I was able to hit those numbers multiple times. Let's have a look at this here. So this is not the test. This was another test that I did with the same setup. I had a bit less crit log, but better uptime on burning spell weave. Usually my uptime is actually relatively high. That's 58% plus on the test. On the DPS test I had like 55% uptime only for some reason, but really high crits. Crits here were okay. 45.9% overall with an average of 49%, or like a max crit of 49%, but that's fine. But this was solo on the 6 mil with drain and bubble support. I was hitting basically the same numbers, so that's kind of cool, I guess. And yeah, so as you can see, Magicka Templar looks like it's in a really good spot. 60% burning spell weave uptime. Sorry. So let's have a look at the stats again. So I'm currently a high elf. Pretty sure dark elf would be a bit more DPS, but sustain can at sometimes like be an issue on Templar, so I prefer the high elf with the extra recovery. We get 10% more max Magicka. We have all points into Magicka. Only 15.3k HP, but we can wear a different monster set to boost the HP a little bit if you want to. However, I don't think that it's really necessary. You have the Apprentice Stone, we use Clockwork Citrus Fillet, and we are a Vampire for some more recovery. So much for the stats. How do we get these stats? Well, as you were able to maybe you were able to tell from the combat metrics parses, I was using Burning Spell Weave. So we use Burning Spell Weave, 3 pieces arcane with all spell damage, as jewelry pieces with a staff infused with a flame damage glyph on the front bar. Infused is of course best in slot. There's no way around infused, and I always had the best results with 3 arcane. So I tried out infused, I tried out Bloodthirsty, and even like replacing, like going 3 Bloodthirsty on a skeleton or just going 1, I always had the best results with Arcane, which was really strange to me. But yeah, Arcane performed the best. So you do not even have to transmute your jewelry pieces. So Burning Spellweave is one of the sets, and the other one, of course, the new trial set, Sororia. So Sororia adds spell damage, minus Slayer, max Magicka, and then when we deal direct damage with a single target ability, we create this fire ring underneath us that gets those stacks of Sororia's boon for 5 seconds, and each stack increases our spell damage by 20 stacks max. So we get a total of 600 spell damage, which is more than Burning Spellweave, but the uptime is much higher, as long as we can stay in this circle. And it's really good because this is a melee build, so we do not actually move that much anyways. We can stay in that circle. However, there's some fights where you do not want to play with a melee build, for example in Cloud Rest. So it's like really stupid. So then Sororia is of course not the best option again, but this is a melee build, so Sororia works really well. You can use the non-perfected version. You will just lose the 5-piece bonus and extra Magicka, so you have like 39 something K Magicka, but you should still be fine. If you're looking for a craftable option, then you can of course go with Julianos. You can also wear Mother Sorrow on the body, combine it with Burning Spellweave, and it's still totally fine. You will lose of course some DPS, but yeah, it's a few K. Like you will see it because Sororia is really strong on the Templar, but you should still be fine to use that like while grinding or like farming Sororia. We complete that with the Zaan monster set. You can use Vulcan Scoria for more HP, but Zaan gives a spell crit and this extra beam that deals a ton of flame damage. It's really strong. And then on the back bar we have an infused Maelstrom Inferno Staff. We use infused of course because of the glyph cooldown and the potency of the glyph, so we really want to use infused. Don't go with Nurn, please don't. So yeah, you can of course also go with Mother Sorrow jewelry pieces with a staff, and then wear for example Burning Spellweave on the body. It also works. It's also a nice combination. You will have a ton of spell crit chance and also get some good spell damage with Burning Spellweave and have good uptimes. So yeah, that's it for sets. Let's have a look at skills. So again, we use the strategic ordered skill, the elemental weapon, as our main spammable, very similar to my other Magicka builds. It's just really cheap and so strong. Keep in mind, get the passives. You really want to get the passives like Spell Orb and Clairvoyance. You really want that for the reduced cost and the extra damage whenever you use 5 of these. So yeah, this is our main spammable. Then we have Solar Barrage. This skill here ticks every 2 seconds for 8 seconds and deals up to like, I think self-buffed it was like more than 13k damage, and every time after every blast we get Empower, increasing our next light attack by 40%. So that's really strong because we do a lot of light attacks. We play a full light attack rotation, so Solar Barrage is really insanely strong. It has a 1.1 second cast time, but that's not that big of a deal, and it deals a lot of DPS too. Then we have Blazing Spear. An 8-second damage over time AoE ability. We need that for the Piercing Spear passive, increases our critical damage by 10%, so it's really important to have that one here. Then we have Purifying Light. I'm sorry. This copies damage up to 24.6k and releases it after 6 seconds. This ability might be a little bit buggy, so you can replace it with other skills. But so far, at least on the solo tests, it's completely fine and it works really well. And yeah, in trials, it might bug out at some points. Like it's been like this for a while now with Power of the Light and Purifying Light. So I don't know. Inner Light gives us more Magicka, 5%, and then also from the Mage Skilled ability, passive skills here, we get another 2% more max magicka. Then we have Fiery Rage. This is the ultimate that we mostly use on the 3-mil skeleton. I also use the one on the back bar because this one is just too expensive to have it up 2 times during the 3-mil test. So Fiery Rage, you always so need that for the Destruction Staff passive, Ancient Knowledge, to increase damage of our single target skills. Then on the back bar we have Empowering Sweep. So Empowering Sweep is really good. If you use that, like you can use it, it's not that much of a DPS loss compared to going for only Fiery Rage. But we also, like I said, we need an Adric Spear ability on the back bar for the passives, for the extra crit damage. And Empowering Sweep is a little bit more defensive. Crescent Sweep, even though it's physical damage, ultimate scale a bit differently. It's a little bit stronger because while the tooltip of Empowering Sweep is of course higher because it scales with our champion points more well, Empowering Sweep, Crescent Sweep deals an additional 66% damage to enemies in front of us, which is then of course more damage overall. I'm not sure, is it 66% or a bit less? I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. Anyway, Empowering Sweep is a bit more defensive, but the DPS difference is really small, and if you go with Fiery Rage anyway all the time, it doesn't really matter. Then you have Harness Magicka as our shield, again in a light because we have a free slot. Vampire's Bane. This is really important for burning Spell Weave. It's a flame dot. 6.2k flame damage directed, and then a flame dot of 11 seconds. Really powerful, and we try to keep it up all the time, of course. Then we have Rearming Trap. So most of you people will probably wonder, why is he not running Channeled Acceleration? Reason for that is pretty simple. Like in both cases we get minor force, but this is a stamina ability, so I use up my stamina pool. I am immediately built, so I can use Rearming Trap, which is nice. So this helps a little bit with sustain if I have 1 second where I do not cast the Magicka ability. On top of that, this has a 1.3 second channel time, so I spend more time on my back bar whenever I use the skill, and then my uptime of burning spell weave will suffer, which is not that good, to be honest. So I've always had some better results with Rearming Trap compared to Channel Acceleration. So it's up to you. If you move a lot and you do not want to use Rearming Trap, you can use Channel Acceleration. That's completely up to you. I just prefer Rearming Trap. Then we have Blockade of Fire, of course, for our Maelstrom Staff, and it's also an AoE damage over time effect. So that's pretty cool and also pretty strong. So much for skills. Oh yeah, before I forget that, before people ask, like, I've tried out Puncturing Sweep as my main spammable compared to Elemental Weapon. I had much more issues with sustain, and DPS was really like 4 to 5k lower whenever I use Puncturing Sweeps. It's just stupid. Like, don't try to use that. So, champion points. For the green tree, we have 100 into Arcanus to get the maximum recovery, 32 into Tenacity if I ever do a heavy attack. Then I have 28 to Warlord, 2 into Sprinter, 14 to Tumbling, 48 into Shadowboard. 81 Ironclad, 22 Spell Shield, 49 Hardy, 49 Ela Defender, 34 into Thick Skin, and 15 to Quick Recovery. Keep in mind, red CP can change depending on what content, what trial you actually play. On the blue tree, we have 24 into Spell Erosion, 48 into Elfborn, 56 into Elemental Expert, 16 into Staff Expert, 66 into Mastered Arms, and 14 to Thaumaturge. If you need some more points into penetration, you can take out points from Staff Expert, or you pick the lower Mana Stone and take out points of Spell Erosion. Because like usually you have so much spell penetration that you don't need that many points in the Spell Erosion. So much for the champion points. Let's have a look at the play side. So basically, like if you're on PC, you will probably know, like you have buff trackers. You can track when stuff runs out. Here on my right side, Vampire's Bane, when my dots run out, yeah. And then I try to keep up Vampire's Bane at all times, and also make sure my Blazing Spear and my Blockade are up at all times. However, for the console people that might have an issue tracking buffs, you can play with a static rotation, which basically looks like this. I cast Solar Barrage first, then Blazing Spear into Bar Swap, Blockade of Fire, Vampire's Bane, then I Light Attack, Purifying Light, and then I use 2 times Elemental Weapon, and then I start again. Solar Barrage, Blazing Spear, Blockade, but then I cast Trap instead, Purifying Light, and again 2 times Elemental Weapon and Solar Barrage. So every second time or every other time I cast Vampire's Bane. So these, I switch up these. One rotation I cast Rearming Trap, one rotation I cast Vampire's Bane. Basically it would look like this. So Light Attack, Barrage, Shard, Blockade, Vampire's Bane, Purifying Light, 2 times Elemental Weapon, Barrage again, Shard, Blockade. Now I cast Trap, Purifying Light, 1, 2, Barrage, Vampire's Bane, Purifying Light, 1, 2. That would be the static rotation. It's really simple. It should be really simple for the people on console because you do not have to count your buffs, and you only have to be able to count to 2. So that's basically it, because you use Elemental Weapon 2 times, then you recast all the other stuff, and yeah, every time you use an ultimate, of course, you use 1 less Elemental Weapon, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, guys, that's actually it. Like, there's not much to it, and you still do some decent damage. Like, DPS wise, was able to pull out some higher numbers compared to my max sword on the 6 Musketon, but keep in mind, the Templar already has minus sorcery, while the max sword in the trial will get the minus sorcery buff on top, so more spell damage, which is really, of course, yeah, beneficial, as it will boost the DPS. Anyway, guys, if you have any more questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section. Also, like, it doesn't matter what it is, like, just ask in the comment section. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button, and if you do not want to miss any more ESO content, make sure to hit the sub button. Also make sure to hit the little bell next to the sub button, and yeah, so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. And on top of that, maybe you are struggling a little bit with your class and you want to know, like, why you do not as much DPS as expected. Maybe you have the same gear setup and you don't know what the issue is. I have something there, it's called the VIP program. So if you want to become one of my supporters, one of my sponsors, they get a special rank on my Discord server, and there's a special text chat and also voice chat where you can ask me all the questions regarding ESO, and I will personally help you improve your gameplay. But yeah, it's completely optional, so you're not forced to do that. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. I hope you tune in next time too. So yeah, I hope to see you there. Until then, bye bye.